Becky, and the beads were good again last week. I know I'm a little bit of a day late. I usually try to do this on Sundays, but it doesn't always happen on Sundays. Sometimes it happens Mondays. This is my weekly wrap-up and chat where I talk about the things that I made, how the week went, how I'm doing, and what my plans are for the coming week. And so this is going to be a fairly short wrap-up video, just because I didn't have a ton of things that I made on camera, but there were some things, and I do have a lot of fun things planned for this week. Not a lot, at least 2. So we'll do that. But you know, tis the season to be busy with a lot of other things, and I know I'm not the only one. I know y'all have been real busy too, so we'll not waste your time. Let's go down to the bead mat, the bead's eye view, if you will, and see what we made. So it's not a lot, but here's most of the things that I made this week. Now these I shared with you last week because they were the examples that I made for my Sam's Bead Shop live, but these are the ones that I made during my live, and they are so bright and pink and blue, and I absolutely love them. If you missed this live, you can go and watch it on replay. It's either on replay on my channel or on the Sam's Bead Shop channel, and you can get all the beads for these at Sam's Bead Shop. And then I was super inspired to do some bead weaving designs, and so this is one of the ones that I did. This one right here, and it was using some of the beads from the Potomac Beads treasure box, and this is really lightweight. It is absolutely really lightweight, but it is a lot of fun, and it was pretty easy to put together, and it did not take very much time at all for that. And then I also made this necklace on my channel, and I'll put links to the tutorials for all of these in the description below. And this one was with the dollar bead box and dollar bead bag. It was a really fun, really quick one to make because it's just stringing it and then doing loops with my beading wire. And then we get our little Eye of Sauron look right here with this, with my focal and his little kids all together. And then these were ones that I made off camera because I was still catching up with the Jesse James Beads Winter Workshop, and these were the design that Danielle Wicks came up with. And the really fun and cool thing about this design is that these components, these findings that you bead onto for this, were ones that she designed and then they manufactured themselves for it. So it's really cool, and I can't wait to put them on because they're just going to be really swingity. I love that. And then this was another one from the Winter Workshop. It was the marshmallow something or other. It's basically just a Russian spiral. So it was really fun to do another Russian spiral. I forgot how quick a Russian spiral works up. It goes so fast, y'all. So, you know, if you were looking for a quick project to make, you could make a Russian spiral bracelet in less than a day. And then I just, instead of using the lobster clasp that came in the box or in the kit for this, I glued these ends of my Russian spiral into these 8mm glue-in ends that were from my own stash. I was just like, I like the look of it better when they're glued in there. And then the clasp was also from my own findings stash, so that's what I did different. But the Russian spiral and the beads all came from the Winter Workshop. All right. I knew I was forgetting something, and it's this bracelet that I made. It was, again, a little bit of a bead weavy design, but it was a really quick and simple one where I used 3 strands of beading thread. Well, I looped them around a couple of times and went back and forth in order to go through some of my 3-hole beads that came in my Adornable Elements Beads of the Month Club. I got the rotating beads of the month, and this was in the Hot and Trendy. So that was a lot of fun to use these bridge beads and these bow tie beads together because they fit so well together. They just make it really, really, really work out. So yeah, that was another one that I made. Alright, so because I only have one pair of earrings that I made, and they are spectacular, I'm going to put them on first, and then I'm just going to leave the earrings on for the rest of this because they are swingity. They are so swingity and fun, and I'm just going to wear them while I'm trying everything else on. So let's start first with the things I made with Sam's Bead Shop using these gorgeous gemstones and like basically all the findings. I added beading wire and craft wire, and that's about the only things that I added to the entire situation. Like everything else came from their shops. This is number one, the one that I did the beaded chain around the back of. And then the next one is the one that I did with the pipe chain almost all the way through. Then we added a couple of beads around the back just to extend the size just a little bit. There we go. So pretty. I love these. Again, if you missed these, you can always watch the replay for when I made these. Why am I so bad at clasps? This is something I ask myself all the time. Why am I so bad at clasps? Alright, and then this one, because you know what? Remember how like the other day I was like, you run out of steam, you run out of juice, you run out of inspiration, and so you do other projects or you do something else entirely. And then suddenly inspiration strikes and you're like, oh hey, I know how to put these things together. That's what happened this week. I got some inspiration for some bead weaving designs. And so they're not super complicated, but you know, you do kind of have to follow along a little bit. But this one was one where I used some of these Iris Duo beads. And if you wanted to substitute a bead, I think Gem Duos would be a really good substitute for these Iris Duos. And then all you need for the rest of them are just some 4mm pearls, some 3mm gemstones, and some 811 seed beads. And it just, you make the rest of this just fine. But this was one that I went ahead and shared earlier, and I did this with the Potomac beads box. I think this little component, this one with all of these, I think it would look fantastic with like some blue and white and like maybe silver sort of things. It would be a little bit snowflakey because there's like 6 of those. Or alternatively, some red ones of these with like some green background, maybe get a little poinsettia sort of vibe going. So that might be something seasonal that you might think of. And then this was the other bead weaving one that I wanted to do, and it was actually something that I was inspired to do when I opened up the box, and I knew I wanted to get it done. I just didn't fit it into any of my schedules until like just this last week. I was like, I'm gonna make this. And so I did, and oh my gosh, I'm really bad at box clasps. So we're just gonna pretend like I clasped it. Cause like, why am I so bad at clasps? Come on guys, I need to know this. All right, and then another one, again, we're just doing easier projects. I know both of these were bead weavy, but they were easy bead weavy. So we can do those. And this was just, you're doing loops with beading wire when you do this. And also I would recommend, because I didn't mention this in the video, but I'm using 49 strand beading wire when I made this, and it doesn't kink. It's soft and forgiving, and so it works a little bit better for this type of design than like a 7-strand beading wire would. So that's something to keep in mind if you're going to be doing this along with me, is to use a more flexible beading wire. There we go. And that's that one. I'm in love with these earrings still. But I've also been opening up my advent calendar things that it's something that I've been just wanting to share with y'all. They're pretty short videos. None of them are longer than like 9 minutes. And most of the time, those of you who've been watching all week, you may be getting tired of me explaining what I'm doing, but like not everybody's going to be watching them all in a row. Some of them might stumble on it without having seen the previous one. So I try to wrap it up for everybody. Not just for everybody who watches everything that I do. All right, and then this one was another one that I made from the, again, this was as I explained, Winter Workshop project, and this was another Winter Workshop project. And I just altered the finishing. That's the only change that I made, was just using different findings to finish it, and glue and end caps instead of sewing in or stitching in some other clasps. And it's an easier clasp for me to do one-handed. Because I'm not good at clasps, as we have already established. But then I've also I got an art advent calendar, and I haven't been opening that up with y'all. It's the Arteza art advent calendar. I've been doing a little bit of art. It's project based, and so instead of just being like random art materials that you figure out yourself, they're like, hey, here's like 4 different tubes of acrylic paint and a gold canvas and a little palette and a thing in the first 4 days. And then the artist that they partnered with for it, they put a little tutorial on their YouTube channel. And I was like, oh, I can do that. I can make little bees. I added the honeycomb things myself. That's something that artistic license. But it's pretty fun. I've got another project that I'm going to do probably in the next couple of days, which is just like acrylic pour ornaments that you then, can do little designs on with a paint marker on the outside of it. It's going to be pretty fun. I was trying to talk my son into doing it with me, but he's like, I just don't like making things. And I'm like, don't know whose child you are. My other son likes making things. I just wish he was here to make that with me, because I think he would have a lot of fun doing it. We've done acrylic pours before, my other son. But I did spend all day yesterday with my son. We made turkey noodle soup, which, like, his grandma, my ex's mom, she's a fantastic person. I love all of them. Great family. But I constantly am always thinking about this turkey noodle soup. It is like the best turkey noodle soup you've ever had. It's just a homemade recipe, and so he got the recipe from his dad, because we had an extra turkey, and I was like, why don't we try making this soup? And he was just, yes, absolutely, let's do this. So we made this soup yesterday. It was an all-day process. We put like the turkey that I had roasted like a couple of days before. We deboned it or something, put the carcass in, and made stock, and then strained all of it. And then he made handmade noodles for the very first time, and like it was so much fun. We made such a mess, and then we just played video games and watched TV together. And that's why I didn't do a wrap-up video for you yesterday, is because I was just enjoying mom time with my kid. He's not always up to spending hours with me. Sometimes it's just maybe an hour that he can handle. Sometimes it's a couple more. So being able to spend the entire day with him and just have some fun was really great, being able to do that. So I had a lot of fun with it, and yeah, so that's where we're at with that. That's how my last week and my weekend went. And what I have planned for this week is tomorrow I'm going to be live with Cassandra on the Beads to Live By Facebook page. We're going to be working with 'Tis the Season for shipping delays, so if the stuff that she sent me gets here by then we'll be working with those. If not, I still have my curated collections that we can make stuff with, and I have so many ideas to use those with. So never fear, there will be some very fun beady things happening, and I will make sure that the beady things that we're working with are going to be easy and quick, because it's all about gift giving. Just gift give-a-thon sort of things. And she has several other designers that she's going to be doing lives with this week. to do beady gift ideas with, and I'm really excited about it because they're fantastic jewelry designers. And so if you don't catch mine because you're busy, but you can catch one of the other designers, do it. And if you can't watch it live, you can always catch it on replay on the Beads to Live By Facebook page. That's where it's going to be streamed to. And then on Thursday, I'm going to be spending time with Amy Campbell from Campbell's Creations. And so we have not yet figured out which channel it's going to stream to, or if it's going to be both or not. It's one of those things that we still need to figure that out. Once we know, we'll let y'all know, though. And so if you are not currently a subscriber of her YouTube channel, jump over there, hit subscribe so that you can get notified, because it's not just the live that we're going to do together that you can benefit from. She also does really great tutorials, and she's just a fantastic person to watch. I really encourage you to subscribe to her channel and watch some of her jewelry designs. So we're going to be actually opening up our Gemstone Orphanage adoption option packages, because we both were bidding a couple of weeks ago when they had their winter adoption auction, and so we both knew we were getting some stuff sent to us from there. And so when we were talking about it afterwards, we were like, let's open it up, let's do a design on the fly, figure out what we're going to make with. And one of the things that we'll be opening up when we do that is they started carrying what they call naked babies, which the adoption auction is the gemstone is the baby. You adopt the baby. It's a gemstone. It's a gemstone. It's not a human baby. But the dress-up bag are all of the beads and the findings that go with it. And for the Gemstone Orphanage subscription, you get your baby that you adopt, and then you get your dress-up bag and all of that. And so they are selling now some what they call naked babies, which is a gemstone that you can see what it is beforehand, because not everybody likes surprises. I love them, but not everybody does. You can see what it is beforehand, and it will come with a dress-up bag that you can dress up your gemstone. It's not going to be as many items as in the subscription, but it's going to be enough that you can make some really fantastic projects with it. So we're going to open up the ones that they sent us to show off to y'all, and it's going to be really great. So that's something to look forward to on Thursday when we do that. And then I will sprinkle in where I can some projects that I come up with or think about, and yeah, it's going to be a good week. I know this week is hectic. It is this week and next week especially is going to be just hectic for all of us. So it's entirely possible that I may just decide to do just a really easy, really simple, let's just bead together sort of a video, so that you can, it doesn't have to be live. I prefer actually recording them so that when you're able to, you can just sit down with a drink, put your feet up, and bead along with me. Whether you're working on the same project I'm working on or your own project, just something that we can spend a little bit of time together. So I'm going to try and come up with a couple of projects that we can just do that with. I think that'll be necessary for all of us. I think with the just that time of year. It's just that time of year. There's magic in the air. There's magic everywhere. We're the ones usually who are making the magic happen. And so that's just a lot of pressure, a lot of things, a lot of balls to be juggling. And so, sometimes you gotta set those balls down and go do something else for a while, right? But hopefully we will all make it through, and we will all be much happier at the end of it. I do appreciate the time that y'all are spending with me, and even in a hectic time like this. And hopefully I will be able to have a little more fun, do more in-depth projects after the holiday season is over, or maybe, some more time-intensive things in that little space between, like, that week that calories don't exist, and all it is a haze of eggnog and cheese boards. You know what I mean? We'll do some more time intensive projects then, I think. But I hope y'all are having a fantastic week. I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday and Thursday for the lives. And again, I will sprinkle in a couple of other projects in between those times. And I will talk to you later, guys. Happy beading.